My name is Honorable Bernard Kitur, Member of Parliament for the great people of Nandi Hills constituency in Nandi County. Today has been a great evening, bringing in various organizations and actors who have come probably at the right time to engage with the young parliamentarians in the Legislative House, especially now when we are entering through the beginning of the budget process. Every 15th of February, the PFM Act, or the Public Finance Management Act, demands that a budget policy statement must be tabled in Parliament, which then initiates the process of the budgeting. And as well, we have to table the medium-term debt management strategy, which details more about the debts that the government has been able to get and what plans do they have in repayment of such debts. And I must say that overly, we have been sharpened. As you've seen, several members of Parliament are here today. Why? We are young parliamentarians that are determined to make an impact for our country. We are elected at such time as this. In the recent past, we've been hearing people having challenges of issues of understanding matters debt, matters repayment, the issue of the foreign exchange going so high up sometimes that may be affecting the repayment of our country. And you know, as young people, we will be paying debts of sometimes that which we did not participate in acquisition of such debts. Therefore, our being in Parliament and today being shared to understand will inform greatly our interventions in Parliament, even as we begin now the budget making process. In the last Finance Act, it was the first finance bill that had the greatest interactions by Kenyans, where Kenyans were scrutinizing. But where Kenyans have not been able to access more is the budget making process. That is the beginning of the budget policy statement, and therefore we are calling upon Kenyans, of course now us as representatives of the people and as young parliamentarians, that such sessions as this has given us a great hindsight. We will not let Kenyans down. Yes, we are in the executive of this country, but we will want to participate and assist Kenyans in making sure that everything that is being budgeted for is being done right. Of course, the good thing that we've seen is that every indicators that they have shown shows that our economy is doing well. But there are gaps that now even ourselves we are going to look more, like the absorption of the budgets, or the several times revising the budget, which then affects the implementation of various programs of government. These are the things that we are living here today with, that as we go back to our various committees, we will be very vigilant to make sure that we do not have several times that budgets are being done over and again, and then they are not being implemented. Or secondly, sometimes the overprojection of things. For instance, you can project and say that you are going to get donor funding that sometimes are far-fetched. Such kind of things must now come to an end. We will be very careful to make sure that anything that is put in terms of projection must be very realistic. Implementation of government programs must be done with as government doing the oversighting, or the Parliament doing the oversighting, and also us as young parliamentarians. I can tell Kenyans that are watching us today, we will be more involved in making sure that we have a better posterity. The young people that are out there, we will be living for long. And therefore, the effects or the decisions or the policy intervention of government now will affect us for a long time. We want to assure you, as young parliamentarians, we will be your watchdogs. We will not let anything that is being done that will negatively affect many of us that are still living for long. We will give the right representation in Parliament. Therefore, today we have been greatly sharpened.
Mheshimiwa Bernard, just to ask you this, because so many Kenyans are asking who is accountable for this, because we've seen previous members of Parliament now leaving the positions. They're not accountable for the projects they've done with the budget. What do you propose should be done? Are there maybe a strict laws now? Should they now be maybe a judge regarding to what they fail to deliver for the people?
What I would say is, I think as we go along, we must be able to review several laws. Because, for instance, we do oversighting as Parliament, and sometimes we give recommendations. In our committees, we have both lawyers, we have the Office of the Auditor General, who check all the books of government. So I think we still need to strengthen the ability of Parliament to give tough sanctions, which we don't have at the moment. So as young people, as we now go forth, we will be adjusting several laws, particularly in the PFM Act, so that any money that has been appropriated to be done for something and it is not done, we must be able to take very tough measures. And this is going to be progressive. We've started it well. You'll be seeing it as we go along. And we mean business on this.
All right, Mheshimiwa, just aside from for today's session, we want to discuss about a bit what is happening to Rift Valley. You know, earlier last week we lost a world record holder, Kevin Kiptum. I know you are very saddened about the loss of the legend. I don't know if you have something to comment on that, because there have been speculation going around on the course of the date. I know you are in the right position maybe to comment something that will maybe make people see it in a different angle. Yeah.
Very sad, and I still condole with a very heavy heart on the loss of that very young man. At the age of 24, he had achieved some of the epic feats that, you know, very few, if any, had achieved that level. And obviously it tells you he had a greater future. My concern about this is we have had several other notable stars that there was one just about a month or two ago who was mugged and he was killed at night. There are those that have also died in mysterious cases. Sometimes, you know, maybe, you know, issues to do with social matters. My key call going forward is to understand that when we have talents to the level of Kevin Kiptum, when we have identified such talents, as those people must become state properties, to the sense that they must be given protection, 24-hour, you know, protection. Secondly, they must be given drivers, people who surround and protect these valuable, you know, talents, because they hold this country on the international stage. To lose somebody in the name of Kelvin Kiptum is the worst tragedy ever. And therefore, going forward, all the stars that have gone through a particular threshold must be given state security, full round security, and because you realize probably he was driving at night tired, they must be given state drivers to make sure that we protect such persons as this. And this is not a matter that we'll just say and pass on. It must be taken seriously. And we'll be calling upon the minister, we'll be calling upon the peers of the same department, and even if that they make some regulation, they bring it to Parliament, we'll pass it. Because it doesn't cost much to be able, if you have all these officers who are around here, some of them, you know, you find one state officer having almost 10 officers protecting them, why not give a few to protect such kind of talents like those? So for me, I am of, you know, equivocal thought process that those athletes with talents, or any young people with exceptional talent that can place our country in a position that they are seen globally, must be protected by government. It is no more even a negotiation, it is a demand.
All right, thank you so much, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you.
God bless.
Sawa.
Asante.